Good Morning America deadly tornado outbreak.
Oh, man.
Nearly 50 reported twisters tearing through the Midwest and South, carving a devastating path of destruction with winds up to 165 miles per hour. Major damage reported in a half dozen states. GMA with team coverage, Ginger on the ground, Samara tracking what's next.
Breaking overnight, airstrikes on Houthi rebel. President Trump ordering the military action against what he calls an unrelenting campaign of violence and terrorism. Could Iran be next?
New development in the search for an American college student who went missing in the Dominican Republic. ABC News confirming authorities have confiscated the passport of the man police believe to be the last person to have seen her before she vanished. GMA on the ground in DR with new details.
Gold rush, prices of the precious metal hitting new highs, fueled by uncertainty about the economy. But should you be bullish on the bullion? What you need to know about this age-old hedge against inflation.
And Selection Sunday. Who will be invited to the big dance? ESPN basketball analysts size up the teams, the standouts, and the possible Cinderella stories. Plus, Footloose. Tens of thousands of runners setting off in New York City's half marathon.
The only person who can bring you out is yourself.
With stories of inspiration.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. Happy Sunday to you. Thanks for starting your week with us. We have a lot of news to get to this morning. Major news breaking overnight, including the U.S. launching powerful military action against the Houthis in Yemen.
Also, we have an ABC News exclusive, new details on the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife, what we've learned about calls his wife made before her death.
But we do begin here with the devastating tornado outbreak across the country, this through the South and Midwest. At least 52 reported tornadoes in 8 states. More than 24 people killed, and that toll, sadly, is likely to rise. We have team coverage this morning. Samara is standing by with the forecast, but we begin with ABC's chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, in Tylertown, Mississippi. Ginger, good morning. These storms are still on the move.
Yeah, Whit, there's a tornado watch that goes into North Carolina. I'll show you that in a bit. But first, let me show you this RV that was tossed and crushed by the tornado. People's laundry, their washer and dryer here. Thankfully, the man that lives here was not inside because this was likely not survivable. And it was not. The same tornado survivable for 2 people and a child about 20 miles to our north and east. That was one of more than 50 reported tornadoes, more than 660 reports of severe storms, and we're not done yet. This morning, a powerful spring storm is still on the move after taking at least 34 lives this weekend.
Oh, man.
This man capturing the moment a tornado ripped through his yard in Tylertown, Mississippi, shredding everything within seconds.
It's crazy.
He keeps rolling to see what's left behind.
Look at my car, man. Oh, my God.
The windows of his car shattered. From a drone, the path of the tornado is clear. Just follow the snapped trees and shattered homes. Tylertown was one of at least 52 reported tornadoes so far this weekend. Watch this twister spinning in Taylorsville. You can see pieces of debris flying in the air.
Okay, everything's okay.
In Elliott, Mississippi, a tornado emergency trapping people under debris.
Can you stand? You want to go back down?
First responders pulling survivors out of the rubble, carrying this person out on a stretcher. 12 people were killed in tornadoes Friday night in Missouri alone. New images capturing the extent of the damage there. Parts of this home in Wayne County barely standing, surrounded by a sea of debris.
It was a really rough night.
Dakota Henderson describing how he helped save his neighbors.
We ended up going through and cutting a bunch of trees out of the road to get EMS and fire department down here. It was just it was a very rough deal.
The tornado outbreak sprawling across the South. Power flashing in Louisiana, winds in excess of 80 miles per hour. This morning, more than 200,000 customers without power across the storm-battered states. In Arkansas, an EF3 tornado wrecking parts of Cave City, winds up to 165 miles per hour. 1 hour just to the northeast, James Holland is grateful to be alive.
You can replace the house, but you can't replace the person.
At the center of this cross-country storm, a tight pressure gradient producing wild, widespread winds, fueling more than 130 wildfires across Oklahoma, burning through more than 170,000 acres, destroying hundreds of homes and structures. The threat still this morning and this afternoon with that line blasting east parts of Georgia. You can see it in South Carolina, places like Florence, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and right into the beaches in southeastern North Carolina, all included in the tornado watch. So that line will have damaging winds with it, but also tornadoes potentially embedded. And let me tell you something about this park right here. It's called the Paradise Ranch RV Resort. You see some of the cabins that were shredded by the tornado over there. The smell of pine is thick because the trees were all splintered and plucked. They are so lucky, the manager tells us, that this didn't happen next weekend when they anticipated 250 campers here. Whit?
Can't imagine. Well, Ginger, we are so grateful to have you this morning. You and the team, please stay safe. And of course, these storms are headed east with the I-95 corridor right in the crosshairs. Samara Theodore here with more on the track now. Samara, where's it headed next?
Good morning, Whit. Yes, it's headed to the I-95 corridor. The threat's still looming. Take a look right now. You can see that area shaded in yellow, stretching from northern Florida all the way to Erie, Pennsylvania. Along this line, we could see damaging winds, a few more tornadoes and heavy rainfall. Timing this out by lunchtime, moving along the I-95 corridor by midnight tonight. If you live in the Northeast, cities like Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, get ready for some soaking rain. And then by tomorrow morning, as this storm system begins its departure, we are going to see rain falling in places like Boston, New York, and Portland, impacting that Monday morning commute. Janae?
All right, Tamara, thank you for that. Turning to breaking news overnight, a new development involving the search for that missing spring breaker last seen 10 days ago on a beach in the Dominican Republic. ABC's Ariel Reshef joins us live from Punta Cana with new details on the man investigators are questioning. Good morning, Ariel. We've now learned they've taken his passport.
Yeah, that's right, Janae. Officials consider Joshua Reeby to be a witness, and sources close to this investigation had signaled that he might have been able to leave the country as soon as Monday to get back to the U.S., but now they have his passport and the questioning continues.
This morning, a new development in the case of missing 20-year-old University of Pittsburgh student Sadiksha Kananki. ABC News confirming Dominican authorities have confiscated 22-year-old Joshua Reeby's passport.
Police say he's believed to be the last known person to have seen her before she vanished. Sources tell ABC News Reeby was questioned much of the day on Saturday and into the late evening hours. For days, local authorities have maintained he is not a suspect. He has not been charged with a crime. Police previously saying he was interviewed as a witness to a possible accident, but now they say they are examining possible contradictions in his story. According to a transcript obtained by ABC News earlier this week, Reeby apparently told prosecutors that he and Kananki met the night before she vanished, partying and drinking with friends before heading to the beach, just the two of them around 4 a.m. He allegedly said the two were kissing in the ocean when they were slammed by a large wave and dragged out by a strong current. It says he told officials that they both struggled to breathe and he tried to save her, saying, "I was holding her under my arm and swimming. It was hard. I was a pool lifeguard, not the ocean. Then, when I finally touched the sand, I put her in front of me. Then she got up to go get her stuff, since the ocean had moved us." He added, she was not out of the water since it was up to her knee. She was walking at an angle in the water. According to the transcript, Reeby going on to say, "I asked her if she was okay. I didn't hear a response because I began to vomit with all the water I had swallowed. After vomiting, I looked around and I didn't see anyone." He told prosecutors he passed out on the beach and awoke thinking Kananki had gone back inside. Hotel cameras capturing him returning to his room that morning. Police have said they believe Kananki likely drowned, but have not ruled anything out.
And again, Reeby is not considered a suspect, and this is still being investigated as an accident. His lawyers say they expect he will face more questioning on Monday. Gio?
Ariel, thank you for all your reporting overnight on this. We appreciate it. We're going to turn now to the new U.S. strikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen overnight for what the president calls a campaign of terrorism against the American military. ABC's Selena Wang following it all from Washington this morning. Good morning, Selena.
Good morning, Gio. This is the largest and most significant military action from President Trump in his second term. Since October 2023, the Houthis have been relentlessly attacking ships in the Red Sea, and it's been causing costly disruption to one of the most vital shipping routes in the world.
Overnight smoke rising over Yemen's capital after the U.S. launches large-scale strikes against Iranian-backed Houthi militants. According to Yemen's Ministry of Health, at least 31 people have been killed and more than 100 wounded in the strikes. The ministry claiming most of them are children and women. U.S. Central Command releasing this video of F-18s taking off to carry out the airstrikes. And the White House sharing these images of Trump watching the airstrike from his golf course in Florida. Trump saying the Houthis have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft, and drones. We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective. U.S. officials tell ABC the air and naval strikes hit radars, air defenses, and missile and drone systems. The attacks could last for several days and intensify in scope and scale. Yemen's Ministry of Health saying the American aggression on Yemen is a criminal escalation that will not break the resolve of the Yemeni people and will only increase their determination to support Gaza and the resistance. Since the Hamas attack on Israel in October 2023, the Houthis have launched more than 100 attacks on vessels in the Red Sea. Trump now warning the Houthis the attacks must stop, or hell will rain down upon you like nothing you have ever seen before, and sending a stark message to Iran demanding they end support for the Houthis immediately.
Clearly, the intended audience here was Iran. The Trump administration has made it clear that they want the Iranians to negotiate an end to their nuclear program. And if they don't, there could be military action like we saw tonight directly against Iran.
The Biden administration had also launched similar strikes against the Houthis, but it didn't stop their attacks in the Red Sea. Those attacks largely stopped around the time of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire in January. A source familiar with the plan tells me that the U.S. military action that comes next depends on how the Houthis respond.
All right, Selena Wang for us, thank you. Let's bring in ABC's Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz, who'll be hosting This Week later this morning. Martha, good morning. It's always great to see you. So let's pick up on that point that Selena was making, that the Biden administration also went after the Houthis. It didn't stop them. But this is the first large-scale military strike under the new Trump administration. What's different this time, and what's the message the U.S. is trying to send here?
Well, we'll have to see what's different, Whit, because as Selena said, this has happened before. This happened under Biden, but Trump is picking a new fight with these Iranian-backed Houthis and directly picking a fight with Iran. This is about their nuclear program. They have tried to negotiate a deal with Iran. Iran basically said, no way are we doing that at this point. The Israelis are eager to hit nuclear programs in Iran. Whether or not the U.S. joins in anything like that, we're going to ask today the National Security Advisor about that and what comes next in these Yemen strikes and whether it will do any good and whether or not Iran is intimidated at all. With.
And Martha, I also want to ask you about this escalating trade war, the White House threatening new tariffs, Americans just trying to figure out what's going to happen next. You also spoke with some business owners just trying to navigate all of this. What did they tell you?
You hit it, Whit. Americans are trying to figure out what's next. And what they told me, and these are juice makers, they have citrus farms, they make wood, all kinds of products down there. And they are really baffled by the uncertainty of it all. One day you hear tariffs, one day you hear more tariffs, this tit for tat back and forth with Canada and others. And the EU, they really don't know what's next. For now, and we were in Florida, they are standing by President Trump and bracing themselves and trying to be patient, but their hands are really up in the air, Whit.
All right, we look forward to your reporting, Martha. As always, thank you. And tune into This Week later this morning. As we noted, Martha interviews White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz about the latest developments in the Middle East and prospects for a ceasefire in Ukraine. Plus, Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse speaks with Martha about divisions in his own party over the vote to head off a government shutdown. Janae?
All right, Whit. Now to an ABC News exclusive. New details about the deaths of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife. ABC's Zareen Shaw is in Los Angeles with new information about a call she may have made before her death. Good morning, Zareen.
Janae, this is a major development in the timeline deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy. Officials initially believed she may have passed away as early as February 11th, but we now know she was alive on the 12th. Authorities telling ABC News exclusively that Hackman's wife called a concierge medical service called Cloudberry. The Cloudberry spokesperson saying she was not a patient of the service, but called on the 12th to inquire about what they described as an esoteric treatment, adding that the caller did not display any signs of acute distress. The spokesperson says they called her back twice to follow up, but did not reach her. Officials believe Betsy died of the hantavirus, a very rare disease transmitted through rodent feces, urine, or saliva, about a week before her husband died. Because of the 95-year-old's Alzheimer's disease, it is possible he was not aware that his wife had passed.
And just the thought of that is absolutely heartbreaking. But Doreen, we also have new information about how one of the couple's dogs may have died.
We do. Officials believe that he most likely died of dehydration and starvation. The Australian Kelpie mix named Xena was found near Betsy's body in a crate. Now, the couple's 2 other dogs were found alive. It appears that they had access to a doggy door. Guys,
just tragic all around. Doreen, thank you for your reporting. And a programming note, tune in Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern for an ABC News special, The Last Days of Gene Hackman. We have an in-depth look at the final days for Hackman and his wife, also featuring interviews with friends and colleagues and commentary from Hackman himself. Gio.
And Janae here now to recession fears, President Trump's tariff threats affecting Wall Street and threatening to aggravate inflation. ABC's Alexis Christophorous joins us now with the latest on this and what we can do. Good morning, Alexis.
Good morning, guys. Recession talk is getting louder as President Trump's tariffs set off a wave of economic uncertainty. The major ratings agency, S&P Global, now puts the odds of a recession this year at 25%, while J.P. Morgan is projecting a 40% chance of recession. All this uncertainty has rattled the stock market, where we know Americans' 401ks have been taking a hit. The Dow Jones Industrial Average just wrapped up its worst week in about 2 years, and it's all weighing on consumer confidence, now at a 3-year low. And there are growing signs that Americans are pulling back on their spending. With so much uncertainty, economists expect the Federal Reserve to leave interest rates unchanged at their meeting this week, which means consumers will have to wait longer for interest rates on things like credit cards and auto loans to come down.
And Alexis, when you have a possible recession, what can we do to prepare for something like that?
I guess the good news is we can see some warning signs, so we can actually be a little proactive. A really good time to start to build up that emergency fund. You always want to aim to have at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved. Focus on paying down debt, especially debt that carries high interest rates, and a great time to review your budget. It always is. You want to separate your wants from your needs. Maybe that means eating out less, losing some of the subscriptions, taking fewer Ubers. You get the idea.
Those are easy ways that I think many of us could save some
Make
money.
a difference.
Yes,
Yep.
Thank you so much, Alexis. It is time now for a check of the weather. And Samara Theodore. Samara, let us know what you're watching. It's been a busy night in the weather department.
It has. Good morning, Janae. Yes, so the same system that brought all that severe weather to the south also had a major winter component, bringing blizzard conditions to places like Cyrus, Minnesota, as you can see here. We saw 8 inches of snow in western Minnesota out there, so they were really seeing visibility lowered. Now, another system crossing the country pretty soon, gearing up right now in the Pacific. You can see the atmospheric river pumping it in, already setting off the alarms. We have flood watches on the West Coast, high wind warnings, winter storm warnings for parts of Nevada as well, and winter weather advisories in Idaho. Now, ahead of this storm, windy, dry air is only going to exacerbate that red flag warning, the fire conditions. We've already seen all those fires burning in places like Oklahoma. Well, as we head into Monday, we could see wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Oklahoma remaining under a fire weather watch. We also have that red flag warning in places for the Texas Panhandle, right on into Colorado. This is the beginning of severe weather season.
Yes.
We're just starting to move into it, so folks need to have plans in place at all times, ready to go now through May.
That's right, and we still have more time ahead with these storms happening right now, so we'll brace for that. Samara, thanks so much. All right, we do want to shift gears now, talk about some Major League Baseball, Gio's favorite sport. Ready to go. The regular season starting on Tuesday in Tokyo, but still a couple more exhibition games beforehand as Japanese fans pack the Tokyo Dome to see the Dodgers' Shohei Ohtani in person. ABC's Melissa Don has her peanuts and Cracker Jack. She's ready for the big game. Melissa, good morning to you.
Good morning, Whit. This is my favorite sport, right? Nothing says spring like baseball, and right now all eyes are on the Tokyo series. It's a homecoming for MVP Shohei Ohtani. Look, last night the Los Angeles Dodgers, they took on the Hanshin Tigers. The Tigers had already shut out the Chicago Cubs, and they did the same to the World Series champion Dodgers with a 3-0 win. But look, Shohei Ohtani shining bright during the Dodgers exhibition games against the Yomiuri Giants, hitting a long 2-run homer to right field in the third inning to give the Dodgers a 4-0 lead. The crowd, about 42,000, roaring in support. LA winning 5-1. And it's not just Ohtani enjoying Japan. It's also a homecoming for Dodgers. Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki. This as opening day is near. That's right. Official MLB regular season openers start this Tuesday with a 2-game series between the LA Dodgers and Chicago Cubs. They face off in Tokyo, but that regular season that heads to home plate on March 27th. Guys.
You know, Melissa, this just reminded us all that you were such a big Dodgers and Shohei fan. So glad you got this assignment, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the pronunciation's right on the money.
On the money. Yes, nicely done. Thank you so much, Melissa. Still coming up here on Good Morning America. Selection Sunday, the players and teams to watch as you fill out your March Madness bracket. ESPN's Jay Williams and Rebecca Lobo join us live to break it all down.
Also, Gold Rush, what's behind the record surge in the price of gold amid fears of a recession?
And race day, the inspiring stories of some of the runners in today's New York Half Marathon, including our very own Will Gans.
Look at it. Oh, man. Oh, Lord.
Welcome back to GMA on this Sunday morning. That tornado in Tylertown, Mississippi, just one of more than 50 reported twisters tearing through the South and Midwest.
That severe weather outbreak being blamed for taking at least 34 lives this weekend.
Yeah, the damage and destruction in some areas is just immense. So let's get right back now to our Ginger Z, chief meteorologist for ABC in Tylertown this morning. Hello again, Ginger.
Gio, the tires behind me are the base of an RV that was flipped and crushed. The debris here, all of the belongings of the man that lived inside. Thankfully, he was not in there. I don't know that that would have been survivable. This tornado was not survivable for a child and 2 adults just about 25 miles to our north and east. It was one of many. But you can see the aerial video here from Tylertown. This was the Paradise Ranch RV resort. The trees just snapped. For as far as your eye can see here, the cabins also shredded. So they're very lucky that they're not having this happen next weekend when they anticipated 250 campers, but there were deaths with this one. And as the storms crossed the state line, this is Sipsey, Alabama, so north and west of Birmingham, Alabama, where more damage was reported. Now this morning we still have tornado watches in place, parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, and still Georgia. I know Samara's going to be tracking that a little more closely as we go through the next couple of hours, because eventually the rain and storms do get up into the north and east. But today the National Weather Service is going to be out here doing the survey to see what level of tornado this was. We will keep an eye on that, and we will be checking in with the people around here. I'm even seeing a little kitty, probably very hungry this morning. It's always tough on everyone after tornado events like this, especially that cover, 18 states. Gio.
Yes, so many people affected by this. Ginger, thank you so much for that. Now let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we're following here on this Sunday morning. Happening right now, a tragic and deadly fire at a nightclub in North Macedonia has killed at least 51 people and injured about 100 more. Authorities say club goers using pyrotechnics caused the roof to catch fire, which then spread. Video on social media shows the chaos inside with people just trying to flee there.
Also right now, a federal judge temporarily blocking the Trump administration from deporting non-U.S. citizens under the Alien Enemies Act. The judge going even further and ordering 2 planes carrying non-citizens that were in the air during the hearing to return to the U.S. immediately. ICE will keep the non-citizens in their custody while the lawsuit makes its way through the courts.
And American astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams are now one step closer to returning to Earth. SpaceX's Crew Dragon Endurance has docked successfully with the International Space Station. The 4 astronauts on board are ready to relieve Wilmore and Williams, who have been in space for more than 9 long months. Sure, they're looking forward to getting
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now to look at Selection Sunday and the men and women to watch as March Madness is ready to get underway. Joining us are ESPN's basketball analysts Jay Williams and Rebecca Lobo. Jay and Rebecca, thank you so much for being with us. Jay, we're going to start with you. Which bubble teams are making the strongest case to dance, and who might be the biggest snub?
Actually, Janae, I would tell you to start with Rebecca. She won more national championships than me. Then respect that. I'll take the baton for this one. Okay. I would think that a team like Texas who has 7 wins against the field. What I mean by the field are teams that are actually in the tournament, legitimate tournament teams as of right now. They play in the best conference in the nation in the SEC. The SEC right now with 7 teams in the top 25. They just beat Vanderbilt here in Nashville in the SEC tournament. They just beat Texas A&M, who was ranked in the top 20. I think they make a legitimate case to be in the field, but I think right now they probably find themselves on the outside looking in.
All right, what about any possible Cinderella stories? Are there any mid-major programs you're looking at?
I would probably go with D2 Drake. I think this is one of the best stories in college basketball. Drake lost their head coach last year to West Virginia. They brought in a D2 head coach from West Missouri State, a guy named Ben McCullum, who literally won 4 national championships in the D2 ranks, brought 4 players with him, 1 player in particular named Bennett Sturts, who leads the conference in scoring at 19.2 points per game and second in assists. They have a ton of players with wings and depth, and if there's a really good team to pick as a sleeper to win multiple games in this March Madness bracket, I would pick Drake.
Okay, excellent. We'll be following all of that. Rebecca, let's turn to you now, because along with USC's Juju Watkins, which players on the women's side will be must-watch TV?
Well, certainly you have Juju. She's second in the nation in scoring right now at just about 25 points per game. But the women's game is still laden with stars. We don't have one and done in the women's game, so we've got plenty of players to keep an eye on. Juju is the favorite right now for National Player of the Year. She can get wherever she wants to get on the floor, can score the basketball. She's so tough in transition. People have thrown so many different defenses at her, haven't really been able to slow her down. But some of the other stars to keep an eye on, Hannah Hidalgo out at Notre Dame back in December, she was the favorite for National Player of the Year. Paige Beckers, when she was a freshman, she won the National Player of the Year, and she's having another outstanding season. You have Lauren Betts out at UCLA, who's really helped that team along. They won the Big Ten Tournament Championship. Madison Booker down at Texas. The women's game is just full of star power once again this year.
And we can't talk about the women without talking about South Carolina. South Carolina been impressive. They won last year's NCAA championship. Who do you see as a threat, Rebecca?
Well, certainly South Carolina is one of the favorites going into the Final Four. They're coming off an incredible performance in their SEC tournament. Looked as good as they have all season long. UConn is another team that is very dangerous. We know they've gone to 15 of the last 16 Final Fours. They've won 10 games in a row. UCLA is a team that has only 2 losses the entire season, both of those in the regular season to USC. We've already mentioned USC as a team that can win it. Texas would be another one, Notre Dame as well. I think those are the 6 teams that have the best chance to get to the Final Four. Those are the 6 that can win a national championship, and it really is more open within those 6 than we've seen in previous years.
Okay, here we go. March Madness is upon us. Rebecca Lobo, Jay Williams, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. And again, tune in to ESPN tonight for Selection Sunday coverage for men's and women's college hoops starting at my eyes aren't too good. That's 6 Eastern, right? 6 Eastern. Get full analysis of the men's NCAA tournament bracket. And then at 8 Eastern, that's the right number, it's the women's selection show. Time now for weather. Let's head over to Samara Theodore, who I can actually see without my glasses across the room there. Hey, Samara.
Hey, morning, Whit. All right, so a lot of folks are going to be seeing storms this afternoon. So be careful along the I-95 corridor. That same system that brought severe weather to much of the south overnight is going to bring heavy rain, isolated storms, a few tornadoes possible from the mid-Atlantic into the Carolinas, heavy rain by midnight into the northeast. New England waking up to a soaker for that Monday morning commute. We've also got our eyes out west. Now, a couple days, not too long ago, Salt Lake City, Utah, you can see here, we've got the clouds rolling through, some snow. Well, we're tracking our next new storm moving into the west, and it'll move into the Midwest by Wednesday at 11 a.m. and then hitting the East Coast by Thursday afternoon. You can see totals here, leaving behind 1 to 3 feet in parts of the Rockies.
And with growing uncertainty in the nation's economy and talk of trade wars, gold prices are surging to a record high. ABC's Alexis Christophers is back with a look at why some Americans are looking to purchase the precious metal. Hey again, Alexis.
Hey guys, it is hot right now to own gold. Gold made history last week, smashing record highs. Economic uncertainty has some Americans piling money into the relative safety of gold, but experts say it's still a risky bet. This morning, Americans are staging a modern-day gold rush. 24 karat magic in the gold rallying to a record high last week, topping $3,000 per troy ounce. That's the way gold is measured. That's up more than $830 from this time last year and more than 10 times what it was worth back in 2000.
In uncertain times like these, people are spurred towards the stability and security of owning physical gold.
A turbulent stock market fueled by uncertainty over President Trump's tariffs is driving people to the safety of gold.
Only one asset has stood the test of time: physical gold.
Since the start of the year, gold is up nearly 14%, outperforming the S&P 500, which is down about 5%.
People invest in gold during uncertain times because it's the only currency that has been around for literally thousands of years. There's a reason why we have the gold standard. That is the one currency that everyone can use everywhere, no matter what.
That's tens of thousands of ounces gone within hours of being listed online.
Costco's gold bars remain a hot commodity. The precious metal is among the big box retailers' top-selling items since Costco started offering 1-ounce gold bars in 2023. But experts caution there's no guarantee gold prices will continue to shine.
It's not necessarily going to go up from here. It might go down, and you have to be mentally prepared for that.
And experts say given how volatile gold can be, it should only make up 5 to 10% of a diversified investment portfolio. So just dip your toe in gold.
It's so fascinating. Yeah. All right, Alexis, thank you so much, as always. Coming up here on Good Morning America, running for their lives, inspirational stories at today's New York City Half Marathon. Stick around.
And we are back now on GMA with the runners pushing themselves to the limit in today's New York City Half Marathon. Among them, our very own Will Gans, who's out there. Will, how are you doing?
Oh, we are feeling so good out here in Brooklyn, you guys. Now, what I've learned since running these races and covering them is that for the 27,000 runners here today, the true sign of strength is not crossing the finish line. It's that no matter what life throws at you, it's finding the courage to make it to the starting line. Take a look.
For runners like Lex Rulin, today's race means a whole lot more than just 13.1 miles.
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
The New Jersey nursing school student overcoming so much just to make it to the starting line.
I found myself in the middle of this abusive relationship. The red flags, I know I'm not the only one. I ignored them.
Until a near fatal assault less than 3 years ago. Thankfully, Lex was able to escape with her life. And with her abuser now behind bars, Lex has turned to running as both a form of therapy and as a way to spread her message of hope, doing the New York City Half with the No More charity.
Does it feel in some ways like a victory lap for you?
It absolutely does. The only person who can bring you out is yourself. And I promise that that strength you have inside of you will take you so much further than anything you could have possibly imagined.
For each of the 27,000 runners today, a different story and a different reason for running.
If I had just simply had a single trans person to look at and be like, oh my God, that's someone who looks like me and they're out there and they're thriving. That's the important part.
E.J. Baker competing in the non-binary category, something they've done since 2021, but this year takes on a new significance.
Now it's an act of resistance. They're trying to push us all back under the rug.
There's no hiding on the Brooklyn Bridge, the landmark traversed by runners for the first time in race history this year.
I just want to run. I want to see what I can accomplish.
The United Airlines NYC Half Marathon is expected to raise $5 million today. And for the first time ever, we are running across the Brooklyn Bridge. And right after that, some of the elite runners, you guys, might be passing your studio in Times Square right about now before we all finish and party in Central Park. Guys.
Awesome. We are cheering you on, Will. And that's a live look outside right now. This is Times Square, which will soon be full of runners passing through. All the best to those runners participating. Good luck and have fun.
And thank you so much for starting your day. There it is, the New York City Half Marathon about to be underway here.
Did we see Will Gans run by now?
Not yet.
Real fast. He ran by so fast you couldn't even see him. Yep. You can catch more weekend news coverage over on ABC News Live.
I'll be there.
You will be there. I'm sorry, I forgot to say you up. It'll be there.
Have a great Sunday, rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Did you just call Whit an it?
Oh, no, he'll be there.